larger cap scale of things, I mean, we all know about Shopify. It's just been absolutely monstrous. We were just talking about some of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday numbers that they were posting over the past couple of weeks. Pretty impressive. But there's others here. Tell us about Celestica.
So Celestica is a Canadian tech company that's been around since, I was in university. I remember, when university clubs would talk about investing in Celestica. So I'm not going to date myself. If you guys look me up, you'll figure out how old how old that one was. And in Toronto, they had a huge property that everyone used to see. So Celestica, again, it's one that was kind of quiet for the last long period of time. But this year, again, done very well with some of these tech adjacent names that they're going to be focusing. They're going to have technology that's touching into the AI segment, being able to provide data infrastructure in that world. So it's up 235% year to date. So it's again, a name that you wouldn't necessarily think about, Celestica, but it's come back again.
Yeah, unbelievable. That's the New York listing, by the way. That's a daily chart. So that's on the NYSE.
I feel like it's people that are buying Champion clothing again. And
yeah,
all the roots. So Celestica, there you go.
We were talking about some of the airlines in the U.S. And how well they've done over the past couple of months here. I mean, there was a whole story yesterday about it, but here's Air Canada as well, another one that okay, opinions aside, anyone who's been on and used Air Canada may have some opinions, Sharif, but this chart doesn't lie.
No, the chart doesn't lie. $14 to $26 in the course of the year, up 36% year to date. Fortunately or unfortunately, we live in a place where we don't get too many choices on airlines. So, to Sharif's boo, I don't disagree with him necessarily. It is a tougher place to play. But this is one just to keep an eye on, just given Canada is going to be announcing interest rate changes. That's going to probably knock the Canadian dollar down a little bit as well. So with interest rates, things getting more expensive, will people travel as much? So that might be one that has had a nice run. It is still up 36%. It's come off its 52-week highs, but definitely off its 52-week lows as people did start to travel again. But will people continue to travel depending on where interest rates go, where spending goes, where all of those things go? And as we all know, if you're going to be spending your money, you have to be a little bit more conservative when things get more expensive. And again, if there is a 25% tariff on goods coming into Canada, going out of Canada, how that will all play into our costs here in Canada in the new year.
Yeah, more to come on that side of things. 2 quarters in a row, Air Canada beating on earnings as well. It's worth noting it's been a while. There was 3 I see here that they did not going into those past 2. We've touched on the dollar store aspect of the retail sector in this country many, many times. Again, these are stocks that have quietly had huge years, but no one seems to be paying a lot of attention to.
Yeah, and again, this is one just when you have interest rate changes, when you have things getting more expensive potentially with tariffs and with a more expensive Canadian dollar potentially coming. That means your cost of groceries, your cost of other things, your cost of staples are going to go up. People will gravitate to more economically feasible options and opportunities, which might lead you to a dollar store. So, quietly, they've done a lot of stuff, 49% year to date, which is not bad at all for a massive dollar store chain. Again, it is in Canadian terms massive, but they're looking to get up to 2,200 stores in the next 7-8 years. Which is a big number again, but small in terms of where the U.S. is. They were at 1,300 stores just a little while ago, opening a new warehouse facility in Calgary, 3.3% up same-store sales. So just continuing to just keep going steady, Eddie.
TELUS, on the other end of the spectrum here, there's you were talking about the airline situation in this country. We don't have a lot to choose from. Wireless side of things, telecom side of things, we don't have a lot to choose from. TELUS doesn't look great on a chart.
And in all fairness, this is a name that we talked about as well during the tech segment as a larger cap tech company to take a look at, because they did have a good Q2, I believe, after Q2 is when we spoke about it. Good subscriber base number, but again, adding 100,000 net subscribers is a big number in Canada.
Yeah.
If you look at India, it's we just had 100,000 net subscribers, right? Wednesday. They haven't fared as well. They're down 5% year to date. So that is one of the ones that has gone down over the course of a year. And just because there is slightly more competition coming, but again, it's where people are spending their dollars. If you have an extra $50, are you going to go get a better data plan, or are you just going to sit at a coffee shop, get Wi-Fi, and then use your dollar more efficiently that way? So the techs have had a little bit of trouble. A lot of pressure on them. If you look at Rogers, same thing. Rogers is our second. Rogers is the big one. TELUS is second. Bell's third. But Rogers even is down, 20% year to date as another one. Sorry to jump the queue on that one.
No, it's fine.
But again, just names you want to look at in terms of where Canada is going to be and in terms of where interest rates are going and where dollar costs are going to go.
Yeah, right. I mean, the chart looks terrible for Rogers as well. I'm actually with Fido, which is their secondary brand, I guess. I don't even know how to describe their relationship. Rogers owns Fido. But I've been getting text messages, I've noticed, of promotions from Fido promoting Rogers products. Like saying switch to Rogers wireless products from Fido. So I don't understand how they benefit from that. But that's RCI, if anyone was wondering. The chart doesn't look great. For Rogers, MG.
Magna is a massive company. And it's been around for a long, long time. And the chart hasn't looked great on a year-to-date basis. And that is a little bit tied to the fact that they're an auto parts manufacturer, as some may or may not know, auto parts supplies. And if the EV revolution was to come under a Democratic government, then Magna was well suited for supplying a lot of those parts that would be needed. But with a Republican government coming in, the likelihood of the push into EVs, into vehicles, into all of those things that come into the supply chain, probably not as great. So that's one to just sort of keep your eye on, that Magna may have some issues going forward. Again, with tariffs coming,